Hi, this is a video response to Paulson's comment regarding the $700 billion bailout and saying that this money was being used to save capitalism. And also an extension on some comments written comments I made regarding replying to this, saying that the U.S. is not a laissez-faire or doesn't have a laissez-faire um, capitalism. And one of the proofs of this is that the U.S. has a central bank, which is one of the having a central bank is one of the planks of the Communist Manifesto. And then I go on to explain how having a central bank is against laissez-faire capitalism philosophy, since it gives monopoly control over money supply to a group of individuals. I then invite him to imagine that if he were to have this monopoly power over counterfeiting dollars. So this is an expansion of that and putting ourselves in that position that we have that power to um, print as many dollars as we want and no one else can do it, only us. So if we happen to have the power, of course, that would be a very good thing for us, right? We could print dollars and buy as many goods, as many things as we wanted. Right? But we know that in reality, wealth does not come from how many pieces of paper you can print in a printing press or type into a computer, but from what gets produced in a country. So even though by printing these dollars we'll be able to buy stuff, um, this will be at the expense of other people. And the consequence of this irresponsible action is going to be that because by printing these dollars and buying this stuff with dollars coming out of nowhere, we're artificially creating demand. And we're going to drive prices for goods up, so we'll get inflation. And other people are going to have to pay more for their necessities and or luxuries. So by printing these dollars and buying things with them or spending them, we are basically reducing the standard of living of everyone else. Now, if we, with our counterfeiting monopoly power over the dollar, we decided to set up a bank and lend money to people. People will have to pay us interest, and all we did was print money. How much money would you think we would want to print and lend? Now, once we start putting this into practice, we start noticing that when prices start going up dramatically, people get very angry. And we get afraid that they'll catch us and they'll take the power from us. So whenever this happens, we decide to print less money so that inflation is not so bad, or that at least they can bear it. But as we're doing this, we also notice that when we lend a lot of money and people use it to buy assets, not goods, but assets such as houses and stocks and bonds and things like that, everyone is really happy. Because just as in the case of goods, when we're buying things, the price of assets start going up and up. And a lot of people make money of this buying and selling, and everyone's very happy. The prices of houses are going up, the prices of stocks are going up, the prices of bonds are, so everyone's really happy about this. In the case of the Federal Reserve, which we have in the U.S., a manifestation of this type of asset inflation would be the housing bubble that burst 2 years ago, a year ago. The dot-com bubble would be another example that burst in 2000, I think. So we keep printing dollars and lending, but as we know, reality weighs more than delusions, and sooner or later, the losses of these bad investments by the use of this very easy money come due. And all that money that you lent won't be paid back. So the party's over. But wait, not really. We still have the printing press. So we can continue printing money and spending money, lending or giving it to companies, or just putting it into the system in whichever way. And we'll get to find out with time what route this counterfeited dollars will take, what kind of inflation it will cause, what bubbles or bad investments it will result in. This is this brief thought experiment, I guess, or example, illustrates why laissez-faire capitalist philosophy is against having a central bank, and also that the U.S. In the present, most countries have a central bank, and so we can't really say that or put the blame on capitalism or laissez-faire capitalism when we are living in an economy with a central bank and with a group of individuals controlling the money supply, controlling interest rates. I mean, this is very far from laissez-faire capitalism. Laissez-faire capitalist philosophy believes more in the free market, so let the free market decide how much money gets lent or who provides that service of currency, of a medium of exchange, and let's have competing currencies and people freely deciding what currency that they want to use, and having how much money gets lent based on savings, how much people actually save and put into banks, and that determining what gets lent, not just artificially creating money out of nowhere. Let's do that instead of giving a group of individuals that claim that they're smart enough to predict the money supply needs of a whole economy accurately, and have to trust that they won't abuse this power and benefit their friends or whoever's around them. I mean, the primary point of the video was to show that the USA is not a laissez-faire capitalist country. The economy does not run that way. You need to be able to recognize that before you can start judging laissez-faire capitalism. You need to see that the U.S. is a mixed economy and that it has elements of communism, socialism, welfare, and fascism, even, basically socialism for the rich, right? So you need to be able to see that before you can really judge laissez-faire capitalism and say that this $700 billion bailout is for capitalism, because we don't really have it. So how could it possibly be to save capitalism? It's really to save some banks, some people that made bad decisions with easy money, and nothing more than that. In the case of the $250 billion bailout for General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler, it's not saving capitalism. It's just trying to save your buddies that are going bankrupt and giving them money. I mean, it's nothing more than that. So you really need to look into it before you can start judging laissez-faire capitalism.